to another episode of the Big Ass Cornhole Podcast. Sean and Dane are with you once again.
Yeah, boy.
What's going on, man?
Oh, just living the dream. I guess.
The dream.
Yeah. It's October.
Well, interesting night. If you're watching us on YouTube, I have a killer shirt out right now.
Yes, he does. Let freedom ring.
Literally had to change like 2 minutes before I'm walking out of my house. My son decided to throw up all over me. Luckily, I was able to get him to go to sleep, laid him down, change my shirt, and go. So, but I'm looking stylish as fuck. So,
funny enough, my dog threw up too, but it was just on the floor.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, before we get into anything else, let's do what we do best. All right, Dane. Let the folks know what we're sipping on at home in a segment we call "What You Drinking."
What you drinking?
Ooh. Oh, Mickey, you are in for a freaking treat. We've done pumpkin before. This is cold brew coffee pumpkin, and it's nitro. Dude, it's like sipping coffee pumpkin milk.
Oh, that's good. That's really good.
Dude, I mean, you could legit wake up in the morning and drink that.
Yeah,
it's a little dangerous. I may have before many times, but it's still 8.6%. It does not taste that way whatsoever. It's very coffee forward with a hint of pumpkin behind it, but the nitro makes it because it is so smooth. I mean, you're basically drinking an iced coffee right now.
Yeah.
With a shit ton of alcohol in it. So
now I know you've talked about this a bunch.
Yeah.
I've not had it this first time.
This is also brought to us by Southern Tier. The greatest brewery in the world. Very near and dear to my heart. They only have bangers. If you've never tried it, try Southern Tier. And then, as usual, segments brought to us by Colorado Cornhole Connection. Get yourself some sweet ass boards. Hit up iHeartCornhole.com. Use code BIGASS10. Get yourself 10% off.
Oh, you rattled that off pretty nicely.
Right? I mean, it's like I've said it, 52 times before.
Something like that. All right, well, Cornhole family, peeps, what is going on? We have more audio gold planned for you all today. We have 4 series of bags by Tampa Bay Cornhole to review today. And then we're going to discuss, the ACL recently came out with the schedule of all the events. So we're going to kind of just discuss where some events are,
where we might try to head out
what
places we think are sweet,
all that fun stuff.
Place we can't afford to go to.
All that stuff. And then we're going to try to drop another episode later this week, so make sure you are on the lookout for that as well. Mm-hmm. But before we get into all that, we're going to let you know what's going on in our cornhole lives in a segment we call In and Around the Hole.
I missed the plug.
I was even trying to
missed
stall.
the plug. I'm sorry.
I saw you weren't ready. I was trying to drag it out. I probably sounded like a fucking idiot.
I'm sorry.
I'm like trying to say it slow. I'm like trying to stare at your phone. And, like,
technical difficulties, people. My hat was it was poking me. I was trying to figure out why. I figured out why. Anyways, brought to us by Airwolf Athletics. You guys want some sexy drip, some cool ass swag? You got to start at the hat and work your way down. Hit up airwolfathletics.com. Use code BIGASS, but it'll get you 10% off.
I swear this is episode 87, right? We've done this.
Yeah, I know.
And also, at this point in your cornhole life, if you haven't added a set of the best bags around, you're doing something wrong. That's right, folks. Blackjack Cornhole Bags, home of the sexiest fucking logo in the game. All right? It comes with free shipping, amazing customer service. So if you haven't gotten it, grab a set right now. All right, just stop what you're doing and use our code BIGASP. It'll save you 10%. So blackjackcornhole.com. Grab your gear, grab your bags, grab a hat, grab a shirt, grab a jersey. Blackjackcornhole.com. Again, our code is BIGASP. It'll save you 10%.
And if you waited and didn't listen to us, you missed out on one of the coolest bag designs of all time.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
You missed out.
Troy Hauser's wife actually came up with the design.
Brilliant. They need to come out with it more.
Thank God they finally have somebody with some taste in that house coming up with some designs. I mean, let's be serious. I mean, my goodness. Killer design. So, Cornhole Life.
Yes.
And you. Did you throw it all this week?
I did. Started league back up and playing with Eric Anderson.
Oh, nice. Okay.
So it's like a little different format than the previously Dave Weiser ran league. So
we're gonna dive into that a little bit more in our next episode this week. So.
Basically we're in round robin right now. So you face some good opponents, face some bad ones, and all I can say is Eric and I definitely play to the level of our opponents.
Okay.
Dude, 100%. It's kind of sad.
Okay.
But Yeah, got to throw. I was excited.
I threw a little bit this week. I tested out that new pucks system.
Yeah.
It's going to be a review of a product coming up. It's those little board stabilizers that you've been seeing like on ESPN and
They're
the
dope.
broadcast. They're freaking amazing.
Yeah.
I'm excited to do that review for sure. I'm trying to wait till I get a good situation where I can actually take some video of how well these things work. But very high praise so far for all of them. But besides that, man, just throwing some bags, trying to test them out. We have a plethora of bags coming up on the lineup.
Yes,
and,
we do.
Just trying to get a good feel for them. There's so many good bags coming out on the market this year.
Dude,
so
it's insane. I think every bag maker has at least 2 series that are like legitimate to throw now.
for sure. So all that stuff's been really good. So what we wanted to do this episode was the ACL recently released the upcoming schedule for this 2021-2022 season. So we're just going to kind of run down, just go over some of the big spots that maybe some of you haven't seen that they posted it. You can go on to iPlayCornhole.com. If you go into the news section, it should be the top one that's right up there. It's going to go over all the dates and at least the city for where it's at. So let's go ahead and start off with, I guess the very first one is going to be an open event. Let's go over some of the locations for the open events first, then we'll get to the big ones. So the first open event of the year is going to be
October 8th.
Yep, October 8th, right in West Dundee, Illinois. I mean, it's not too far away from us. Unfortunately, I have a wedding this weekend. I just couldn't make it.
I gotta, watch
my
a
kids.
child.
You do. Thank you for that, by the way.
So we're not gonna get them to the Dundies.
So if you're Illinois, last year I believe they hosted the first open event last year because that's where Bernadette won singles and doubles.
We took it down.
Do you like having the first one, or do you wish like they would have changed up when you had it? Like,
I think everyone's chomping at the bit right now as it is. So
it's just kind of nice to have that first one. Right?
The cornhole does not have an actual season, people. It's year round. Let's be honest.
For the most part, yeah.
I think
Listen,
everyone's just.
We
ready.
had a very long, stressful off season this year.
Yes, we did. I mean, as other circumstances, but still, I mean, it's 3 weeks long?
Yeah. So from Illinois, then they go over to South Dakota. All right, it's Rapid City.
Yeah.
All right, so I mean, we're talking about going cross country here. So you could Illinois to South Dakota.
Go check out Mount Rushmore when you're out there.
Maybe.
I think actually it's at Mount Rushmore Hall.
Okay. Well, and then the third one is actually the one that we're going to be attending. It's in Cincinnati, Ohio, which is about 4 hours away from us, so it's not too bad. Straight down 71 South, we're going to be hitting that up. That is in November 5th through the 7th.
We'll do a little commentating.
We are. If all goes well, that's kind of the goal.
And if we don't commentate, then maybe we'll play.
Yeah, we haven't decided yet.
We'll do something cornhole.
Yeah, so we're going to be going down there. Probably we'll get there Saturday real early in the morning. We're going to leave super early. Get down there Saturday. We haven't figured out what we're going to do. We'll probably stay till Sunday and then just kind of figure it out from there. But I'm looking forward to it. So just some of the other cities that are going to be having it. After Cincinnati, you have Virginia Beach. You have Asheville, North Carolina. You have Winter Haven, Florida. You have Louisville, Kentucky.
Louisville.
The one thing I find interesting is sometimes I feel like if it's going to be shit weather, maybe you should just have it in the warmer climates then.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how exciting it's going to be going to Kentucky in end of January, but it is what it is. But
It'll be warmer
that one's
than
not
Ohio,
that far away from us.
so.
That's another one that we would consider kind of going to. It's driving distance.
Yeah, I mean end of January. I think we might be able to.
The one I'm really considering going to is Kansas City. It's February 25th through the 27th.
Yeah.
They have a pretty big cornhole contingency out there. Some of our favorite people are out there. Josh Zeller, Vortex Cornhole is out there. I was kind of leaning towards maybe going to that one.
Kansas City is a really fun city too.
It is. It's great. It's good food.
I've never been. I would love to check it out.
It's a cool city. I used to go there a lot when I coached rugby. There's a big rugby tournaments there every year, so we'd go check out there. It's always pretty good. They do have one in Cedar Falls, Iowa, which is home of the Clash. They have one in California.
Isn't that in Cedar Rapids, Iowa?
Oh, I'm sorry. You're right. Yeah, I'm sorry.
I mean, maybe they touch or something.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe the rapids leads into the falls.
They like Cedar.
Yeah.
Out there, apparently. You have one in California. You have one in Rhode Island. Shout out, little state. You have one in Texas, Arizona. You have one in Las Vegas. They're not having a national event this year in Las Vegas, but they are having an open event. I have a feeling that one's going to be pretty crowded.
But, the other thing, like you're saying, warmer climates when it's cold outside. I mean, that is June 10th through the 12th. You're talking sweltering heat.
Let's see, where else do they wrap up? Washington State, they have one. And then the last one, they're wrapping it up in West Virginia.
Mountain Mama, take me home.
So, I mean, they've done a good job spreading across the country. There's going to be some, it seems like it's reasonable driving distance for at least 2 or 3 of them for everyone that's around there. Obviously, it's a little heavier East Coast based a little bit. I think that's where the bigger numbers are right now. But again, it's nice seeing that they're getting one out in Arizona again, in California, and kind of branching out that way.
I think you're going to start seeing more and more of these opens pop up.
I was secretly hoping that they were going to have one in Hawaii, have an open event in Hawaii. I think that'd be really cool. Maybe next year.
We would have to go to that one.
I think we would almost have to. So last year they busted out this new ACL Pro Shootout series. It was the round limited where they had the big pot. Adam Hissner won singles. Doubles was won by, remind me.
Come on, Sean.
Brett Guy and his fucking partner, right?
Yeah.
Or whatever it is.
I mean, Eric Davis's fucking partner.
Or whatever they said, yeah. But yeah, so they brought out this event, which I think was actually a pretty big success. I mean, it was a big payday. I'm not a huge fan of the round limited, but I understand when you're bringing TV and broadcast in, you have to be able to control the time somewhat. But if nothing else, again, it's more content. And you're putting all these events that are going to be televised on, so it's just more stuff for us to talk about. So I'm thankful. So some of the pro shootout events, some of them are going to cross over with some of the opens, but most of them they're not going to. The first pro shootout event is going to be May 20th and 22nd. That's going to be Fort Worth, Texas. So we do have a little bit of a wait.
That crosses over.
Yep. You also have one in June 3rd to the 5th in Arizona. I believe that one also crosses over.
So it actually looks like the first 5.
5. Yep.
Or maybe.
Yep.
Yeah.
First 5 all try, and the last ones do not. Because then you have Winter Haven, Florida. You have Wichita, Kansas. You have Hartford, Connecticut, or Newark, New Jersey. They haven't decided. Hopefully they give it to Connecticut. I know. Let's be serious. No one likes to go to New Jersey. Anyways.
And it's Hatfield in Newark.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Come on.
Yeah. And then they have not announced where the championship is going to be held in September.
It's because it's going to be Cleveland, Ohio.
Yeah, but one thing to note about going back to the Opens, they have a new big sponsor for all the Open events this year, which I think is notable. Bacardi Spiced Rum. Okay, is they're kind of
Captain Morgan's illegitimate stepson.
Yeah, so I mean, again, it's another pretty big sponsor that's coming about. So it's the right move. Now, what I wanted to look at are where are the national events this year being held at.
Yeet.
So we have, obviously, the kickoff battle is always the first one of the year. It's in February 11th through the 13th. It's actually in Los Angeles, California. Pretty big deal, I think, going to the West Coast for the first one.
I mean, it lines up with the Super Bowl again.
Yeah.
If you're going, get tickets now.
I mean,
go buy your flights, book hotels, because
it's going to be expensive.
No matter who's in the Super Bowl out there, it's going to be crazy. I mean, wherever the Super Bowl's
I
at,
think
it's insane,
that's going to be a theme every year. That first national event's going to be there, only because they're trying to keep going with the Super Bowl. So it's just going to be a deal that they're going to have going.
And it's smart. I mean,
you take where you can. You also have, the next is Cornhole Mania. That's going to be in Washington, D.C., March 18th through the 20th. Man, that's relatively close. I would love to maybe possibly make that one. But the one that we were actually talking about going to is the ACL Bag Brawl. That's May 6th through the 8th in Houston, Texas.
Yes.
I love Texas.
You living there for a while?
We have flight vouchers. Since we weren't able to go to Iowa, they're good for 2 years. I'm thinking maybe Houston might be the
I think that might be the way we go, man.
Yep. Then you have the Final Chase, which is going to be in Illinois. And then you have the World Championships again. Obviously, that's going to be Rock Hill. If you're picking one event to go to, right? I really do have to recommend the World Championships in Rock Hill. If you haven't been to that venue yet, it's worth going to. If you were a cornhole fan, there are tournaments and matches and blind draws and just there's stuff to see, and it's such a cool event to be around. They do such a good job there. They want to represent like their home facility really well, and they did a banger job last year. I would recommend going to that.
It's only going to get better each year. I mean, better, bigger. I mean, it's a spectacle.
Yep.
And I had a blast just looking at the place.
Yeah, so I think just looking at it, just like a brief synopsis, it looked like, again, they did a good job kind of spreading the love across the country.
I know we said there weren't that much like West Coast, but like, I mean, there's still like there's Arizona in there, and like, I mean, Texas isn't that bad for like Californians to get to. So I mean, I think they're starting to spread it out, and again, we said Washington State. I mean, that's awesome. So it's cool to see it spread out. I think we're gonna see more and more of these opens popping up each season, and I wouldn't be surprised if they start like doubling up weekends.
Now, I think it's, again, just to kind of note, they have a little bit since COVID, and they changed their formats a little bit. The open events are open for anybody to go participate in. The national events, again, are pro events, where they're going to have all the pros competing. We're hoping to maybe go to a pro event again just to get some content, maybe bring swag or something like that. But if you want to play an event, that's when you need to really look at the open schedule and try to get some points, because that's one of the ways you can automatically qualify to be a pro.
And honestly, like, I recommend hitting up an open that's tied in with the shootout, because
it's cool to see.
I mean, they put on the whole display for it, and it is fun to watch.
Yeah, it was our first broadcast that we got to see live.
Yeah,
was a pro shootout. It was actually Bernd St. Gustafson's win in the finals for doubles in that very first shootout. Really cool stuff.
Well, I'll tell you, like, it's cool to watch the shootout because the round limit it's a whole different game.
Oh yeah.
So it's very suspenseful.
Yep. Completely agree.
Very fun to watch.
Completely agree. Okay, let's go ahead and we're going to switch gears. We're going to go to the bag review, which is brought to you by Bagsboard, the maker of the original Cornhole bag backpack. If you need sweet patches to go on your sweet-ass bag, go to bagsboard.com. Bagsboard.com. Grab yours today. Yeah. Please. So kind. Thank you. Thank you.
This has caffeine in it, so
I
keep
can
us
tell.
awake.
Put me right up there. Okay. I gotta turn this here so folks can see what we're drinking.
So we're gonna start off. There it is.
Okay, so we're gonna start off with the first one. This is Tampa Bay Cornhole. They made a little bit of a splash this year because they made I guess you can call it kind of a big signing. He's a well-known player.
To me, it is.
Kyle Malone was kind of one of the poster child of kill shots, right? Him and Dalton McClem pretty much put kill shots on the map, right?
Yeah, I mean,
he decided to go away from kill shots. Again, I don't know the whole backstory. I don't necessarily care. But he decided that he's going to be signing with Tampa Bay Cornhole. I believe he's friends or he lives in that area around there. So I guess in a way it kind of makes sense. But this will be the first time, I believe, that Tampa Bay Cornhole has like a legitimate pro throwing their bags on the circuit.
Yeah.
So let's start with the first one, the bag you're holding in your hand.
Yes.
The Icky Sticky.
It is Icky Sticky, folks. We got your classic suede bag right here.
One of the slowest suedes we've thrown.
Yeah, it is a slow suede, but it's very smooth. But it's a 1.
It sticks.
Yeah, I mean it's.
I will say, I believe, I could be wrong. I believe this bag on the slow side tested the slowest out of all of them on all the bag testing last year when ACL came out with the wall.
I mean,
it does not move.
I'm like having trouble just like pulling it along this table.
If you are a block airmail kind of guy,
this is your bag. If you could throw that first bag flat and straight for the block, good night.
So template.
It's a bigger suede bag.
Yep.
It has a little slink to it already. I mean, these are untreated, but it's got a good wiggle to it.
Yep.
But yeah, I mean that suede side though, like it's not gonna give you any forgiveness around the hole because it is so sticky. But very familiar fast side on this. I mean, we got that slide right material, so looking at it like a 1 with like a 6-7 on the other side.
Yep.
And very.
What do you like?
Similar.
Just overall design of it. Do you like? I mean, we're not giving a score. I'm just saying.
I do like the design.
For this one, I do like it a lot. I think.
Yeah, I mean, it's cool that like the suede's printed on and stuff. Like, I mean, it's a little different. Like, it's just like a consistent.
The yellow pops.
Yeah, the yellow pops on it, and I just wanted to say one thing. Their closing seam is a little bit bigger at the top than like what we're used to seeing. But
let's call it how it is. If we're looking at the closing seam, especially on this bag in particular, it's not the cleanest closing seam I've ever seen in my life either.
It's not. It definitely looks like it's hand sewn with a machine.
Yeah.
Going across, but
somebody with not steady hands.
Yeah, but for some reason it works with their template because their template is very like flat on the edges.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, it's not a perfectly square bag. It's got like rounded corners to it, but it's still pretty darn square. So, I mean, that seam doesn't throw me off as much.
It doesn't have tons of fabric held over, so it doesn't tend to pucker up a little bit. But again, it's a pretty large closing seam, but it doesn't have like a tons of. They keep it pretty high up on the bag with the closing seam, but again, it's not the cleanest seam I've ever seen in my life. So, design score, where are you going?
Design score. I mean, I like the yellow. I like the overall look. I'm gonna give this one a 75.
All right. I mean, it's okay. I mean, I like it. I'm gonna give it 60. I mean, it's nothing crazy. I mean, it's yellow and
The yellow put it up for me because
Yeah,
it just
it's-
looks nice.
I do like that they print on this weight. I'll give it that part.
Yeah.
Performance factor. Again, I found myself, I don't like carpet bags. I actually don't mind throwing suede though. Is that weird? Like,
Suede, like if you're throwing suede, you know exactly what your game's gonna be, which is block airmail. You throw that block down.
but like
You're not
I don't
trying to
even.
push
I just
anything.
know if I'm throwing suede that I can really just throw it
Yeah.
deep, throw it hard, and
Yeah,
be
just
aggressive at it.
throw it as hard as you possibly can,
Just
and
kind of muck it
and
up a
hope
little
to
bit.
God. Yeah, I mean, I
I
get
didn't.
it.
I didn't throw these terribly at all. Again, it is what it is. It's a suede bag. Is it a bag that I'm ever gonna bust out and go to a tournament at? No. Is it a bag that I'll fuck around with in the backyard just to fuck with somebody? Absolutely, I would throw this bag in that situation. With that being said, for me, performance-wise, I'm gonna go a 62.
Yeah, I'm gonna go just a little above you and give it like a 65. It's a nice suede bag,
It is.
but like I mean, you're not gonna throw that at a high level of competition. Not with the bags out there. I mean, I think everyone knows that, but I'm surprised and happy at the same time that he got a pro stamped.
Yeah.
Because I mean, it's maybe someday we'll start seeing some people throw some suede again.
Yeah.
And I think it's sooner rather than later.
All right, so the next bag we're going to go over is the X Factor. The first thing that came to mind when we grabbed these bags out is actually the first thing that I thought of was like, holy shit, this fill is big.
Yes.
That's the first thing, and because the material, especially on the slick side, feels very thin. It's a very big. I want to say it's pretty universal. It's pretty round, like almost like the big bead type feels. It feels more of like like a bag that you would have felt like maybe 2 years ago, like with that kind of feel. But the slow side material feels somewhat familiar. It's not exactly. I don't think it's exactly like Surefire. It's kind of somewhere in between the Surefire and Players material.
You know what just dawned on me?
What's that?
OG Gladiator.
Kind
Is
of.
that not like it feels like the same fill?
A little bit.
I mean, it's fuller than an OG Gladiator.
Now, I mean, don't get me wrong. This bag right away is fairly broken in, but I
It
almost
is.
feel like it because the fill is so big, you don't have to put as much in there. So naturally, the bag is just going to kind of droop. When you have this ginormous, big universal fill, you're not going to get. You're really not going to get any bounce with these. It's pretty much a slide straight type bag. The only issue I have when I was throwing this bag is because the fill is so big. When I go to release it, the fill almost shifts in my hand a little bit,
yeah.
and it feels like it wants to yank. So when I'm if you're watching again on YouTube, when I'm coming through and I'm coming across my body, it almost feels like it wants to pull out of my hand. I tend to miss this bag right a lot, and that's typically my issue, anyways. But this one I had a hard time correcting. I felt like I really almost had to aim like 3 inches left of the hole, 4 inches left of the hole, just to kind of get my feel down the middle. I never got super comfortable. I feel comfortable with the speed of this. Speed's like a 4 or 5 on the slow side.
I mean, it's pretty familiar.
Fast side is like a 9, I would say. Like it's
Yeah.
pretty quick. It's like a Game Changer or Reynolds Excel type material. It's very similar. It's like that thinner stuff. Breaks down nice, but it plays very fast.
I mean, we gotta say it's definitely more Game Changer than Excel.
But I mean, again, it makes sense. Like the material that they're using for this.
I like the 2 speeds that he made. I mean, it's a big bag. Like, I mean, it's a big bag.
Their bags are big.
Yeah, they're all big bags.
And when it lands, I mean, it flattens out. I mean, this is one of the bigger bags I've seen, which is again not necessarily a bad thing if you're trying to grab bags and push it in, stuff like that. And again, if it's relatively hole forgiving, when they're super broken in, especially if you're playing slick side down with this. I mean, you're adding almost an inch to the hole just because of how big this bag is.
And that's what I was going to mention. This bag is big, but if you can throw it well, you're going to be successful with it because it will grab the hole, it'll melt in.
Yep.
I mean, that big fill does have its advantages around the hole because it does tend to, like you said, it shifts a little bit easier than a small fill. So when you get a big bunch of weighted little beads in this thing falling all at once, it tends to drag the bag in a little bit a little bit more so than smaller fill. I mean, it's science, folks.
The one thing I know that's going to drive people crazy right away is this cross stitch. This bag.
See,
again,
I actually liked it.
I like the look of it.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is I know that people are going to get this right away, and then when you start to throw it, this material, again, it spreads out, becomes a pretty big bag, and I don't know if you can see it on here, but you can start to see like the seams, like the cross stitching going up and down here. You start to see that. And I just know, we've all been on Facebook enough to know where people are taking pictures of this, be like, is this normal? It is normal. It's going to happen. It just did not take very much for these to start to see right away. But it doesn't feel like it's going anywhere.
I think that's by design, though. I think it's like he has it like that just to really make it into a big floppy bag.
If I'm being completely honest, I worry a little bit about the durability of these.
Yeah, I mean, obviously we haven't thrown them enough, but like, I mean, I'm really hammering into this thing. I mean, it's
like I felt like if I really wanted to, I could probably rip this thing open.
I mean, not that we would ever want to do that.
No, but again, bigger fill bag. It's if you're looking for something that's pretty loose, you want a bigger bag, you like the bigger fill in your hand. This is gonna be up your alley, especially if you were looking for something like that surefire player's material type speed. Because again, slow side 4-5, slick side's playing like a 9.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Design score for this one, it's pretty simple.
It's basic.
It just goes with the X Factor logo. I'm assuming this is supposed to be like some sort of fill in it. I don't know if he's bragging about that or.
I'm not sure. I really couldn't tell you. I don't get it.
I don't get it either.
My design score's 31.
Oh, God damn it, Dan. Literally, that's exactly what I wish I would have written that down beforehand. Yeah, I'm all right. I'm gonna give it design-wise. It's just very simple. Yeah, I'm gonna go 30. I'm gonna go one lower. All right. Performance factor. Where are you going with this one?
Since it is so hole friendly right out of the box, and like people are gonna like that like you don't really have to break it in. It's pretty much ready to go. I mean, I'm gonna give it. I'll give it a 65.
Okay.
It wasn't for me. It's just like it's a little too loose
Yeah,
in the hand. I like a tighter bag.
I like a looser bag, but I don't like I said, this big fill for whatever reason was really fucking with my release.
You like a really well broken in bag. Like you love to get
Yes.
rigid bags that you break in to be like
Correct.
slinky. Like this
Correct.
one comes in like that already. Yeah, and I know that's not your cup of tea.
There's a difference between, again, stay with me here, and maybe this is just me in my head. There's a difference to me between being a loose bag, which is I'm okay with playing with a looser bag, right? And something that feels sloppy. This, to me, in my hand, feels sloppy because the fill, like it just, again, when I go to release it, I can feel shit shifting, and I'm such a mental case when I'm playing already. I don't need anything to be going wrong as I'm releasing the bag.
Yeah.
It just causes me to think too much, and I start to tinker, and then I start to miss more. I just didn't throw it that well. I'm going a 40.
That's fine. Yeah.
I just can't. I just could do. Again, I like the speed of it. Just the overall play. I just
look at that bag and I can see someone throwing it and just pouring bags in the hole. Just because it's bigger.
Just not. It just wasn't
hole
me.
friendly. Yeah. But if you're not comfortable throwing it, I mean that's the first part of cornhole. You got to be able to throw it before you start making them, right?
All right. Next one. Smoking Jays. Kind of going with a theme here after Icky Sticky. Not so much with X Factor, but we're going with Smoking Jays here. This one felt. This was different.
It is. It's unique.
The one side of the bag, the first thing when I first got it out, it kind of reminded me of the first pro set of bags we ever got was the local bags Mamba S.
Yeah.
It kind of reminded me of the slick side of that, but it's not as fast.
Yeah, I agree.
It felt similar, and it was a little bit stiff. This by far was the stiffest of all of them.
Yeah.
Takes a little bit of time to break down. But again, this is more of your control bag, if I was going to call it anything. This is slow side plays like a 6, fast side plays like an 8. It's something that, as the bag breaks down, especially this, the slick side is going to be much softer.
Yeah, I mean, both sides of this will break in, and I bet you they'll once this that side that we were talking about that like kind of reminds us of local. Once that breaks down, man, it turns into butter.
This is gonna be like their version of like what like an all slide would be.
I agree.
I'd be interested to see what the slower side does in humidity. I almost feel like this thing is just gonna tear up humidity, and it's not gonna slow down at all.
I think it'd be
like
fine.
I think this thing is really gonna play true no matter what. I almost wonder if the slow side then becomes the slick side.
It might, yeah.
And then the fast side becomes the slower side.
Because it looks that slower side looks
it's
very synthetic.
Yeah, correct.
So I think it would just kind of wick the water away. and move right through it. But all in all, like, to me, this, I don't know about you, but this was actually my favorite of the bunch.
This one or Pineapple
This is
Express,
the one that I
next
know,
yeah.
like, I mean, I know they call it Fast and Furious. It didn't play as fast as I thought it would.
Now this one again has bigger fill in it, but doesn't feel sloppy. Like when I went to go throw this bag, I didn't feel shit shifting, and I think it's because this, out of all of them, felt a little bit smaller. I think it's also helped too that it was still a little bit not as broken in. It was a little bit stiffer. I actually threw this bag better because of that.
Yeah, I mean, it's a little bit more of what we're used to throwing.
I thought this was the best constructed bag
Yes.
out of all of them. It has the cleanest seam, closing seam. I like the template. Again, it's a little bit smaller. It's slightly more rounded than the other ones, I would say. I'm trying to think, is it the same template and it just, because the bag is smaller, it seems more rounded? Or is it more rounded, do you think?
I think it has the same template.
Okay.
I just, looking at that like cross stitch on the X Factor where it's like looped in on the sides or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's what makes that bag so big, because it's the same size as the Sticky Icky.
Okay.
I mean, that bag's the same.
Okay.
So, I mean, I think it's the same template across the board. I think all three of these actually have the same template, but like you said, the way that these materials are joined together, it just makes it for a tighter feeling bag.
Mm-hmm.
And those materials aren't, like, they're not as broken in right off the bat.
Yeah.
And, it's just something that we're a little more accustomed to. But I know that I think this is like their most popular bag.
I don't know.
I'm thinking. I know I've seen this one around.
This is the first one I've ever seen. Like, out of all of these, I've never seen any of these around our area.
I've seen the Smokin' Jays.
I know Tampa Bay Cornhole's been around for a while, so I'm assuming they're pretty popular in Florida. But yeah, I completely agree. This one, for me, was again my favorite of them all. So if you're going design score, I don't know about you,
dude.
I actually like the design.
Yeah,
of this
I dig
one
this
too.
one a lot.
I maybe it's just because it's the black. I like the back.
The little
it's very
stamp
clean.
on it is cool.
Yeah, it's just got their little logo, the palm tree, and the two cornhole boards leaning up against it. It's very clean looking. I don't know why. I prefer this design to the other two. If I'm giving it a design for this one, I'm gonna go 75. I like this one.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it an 80.
Okay.
I like the clean look of it. I really like that plain side with just a little Tampa Bay logo on it. I mean, it came out really cool. So, performance score. I mean, I'm gonna go up there a little bit with this one. I'm gonna give this one a 77.
Okay. I'm not going to go that high. I've been doing some soul searching recently and just realized that I've been giving out some big numbers. So I need to be... I'm trying to do better for myself to just be more honest of like what I'm too nice sometimes, I feel like, because I don't want to hurt anyone's feelings. But again, everyone wants to get better, right? Like, so I'm not shitting on anybody's product. This was my favorite of all of them. I'm going to give this one a 70.
Okay. I mean, to me, it was like just... holding that in my hand right after the X Factor made me appreciate it so much more.
Yeah. All right. The last bag we're going over is the Pineapple Express. Now this one feels kind of familiar. When I first picked it up, the first bag that reminded me of was the Reynolds Victory. Okay. So on the slower side, in quotes, depending on what you're playing on, is like that linen type material. All right. It's going to feel very if you're a Victory type fan, or if you've played Big Daddy Carnage or something like that. That linen side, that is that slower side. Again, linen can play anywhere from a fucking 2 to it seems like a 7 sometimes, just depending on board conditions. In general, it tends to play like a 5. So we'll call it a 5 on the slow side. The slick side, it's pretty fast. I'm gonna call it like a 9 again. Yeah,
it seems like that
again.
It
really reminded me of a Reynolds Victory. Again, I wasn't a huge fan of the closing seam, and I know I'm nitpicking. I'm just, in this day and age when there's so much competition out there and you're trying to sell your product out there, every little bit like that matters, and people are getting so nitpicky. And he also used the same closing pattern, it seemed like, on the Pineapple Express as he did the X Factor. Now, I would be interested to know if the guy that makes these bags, if he did this on purpose, again, to make these bags play bigger so that they're more hole forgiving over a large. That wouldn't surprise me. And if that's the case, hats off to you.
Yeah, kudos to you.
But again, he has this cross stitch going, horizontal going down the sides, and it's real noticeable. Sometimes I worry a little bit about the durability of it.
It's not like WTF cross stitch. This is Frankenstein cross stitch, where there's like
yes, that's the perfect
there's
way
like
to explain,
several there's like gaps in between each one. So I mean, I mean, it's by design. It's got to be.
And I think you're right, though. I think it's because the material is going to stretch and play.
Yeah,
It allows
it'll
the
just
bag to play bigger.
Play bigger, yeah.
Again,
And
it's
still meet the specs.
bigger fill.
Yes.
This one did not. Again, I think it's just because I'm a little bit more familiar with this linen material. I love throwing the Carnage. We even used to throw the Victory a lot. I know the linen side a little bit. I played with this one a little better than the X Factor. Still not. This was probably third in my rankings. Like, if I'm ranking them for my personal use, I would have said probably Smokin' Jays, then Icky Sticky, then Pineapple Express, and X Factor. Which, going into it, when I first picked them up, I would have probably said X Factor is going to be my favorite.
Yeah.
Just because of that slow side. But then after I threw them, like, now I got to change this up. So, what are you thinking? Did you like the design for this one? Pineapple Express has got, like, this little choo-choo train, pineapple smiling guy going right down on the tracks.
I love it.
Do you like it?
I do.
Okay.
It's I mean, I'm a bit of a nerd, and it's kind of like nerdy anime art a little bit. So for this design score, I mean, love the colors. I love me some orange. I'm gonna actually give this one an 80 for the design.
I do like it. I mean, I do like it. It fits the name. It fits the vibe of the bag. I do like this one a little better. I'm not gonna go quite as high. I'll go 73 on this one. I liked it. Again, it wasn't perfect, but this one was one of my favorite design ones.
Yeah.
Performance-wise, where are you going with this one?
Performance for this one, I mean, I did like this bag a lot more than the X Factor, just because it has a little bit more fullness to it. When I was trying to do my grip on the X Factor, like, I felt like I just had all of the beads in my hand.
Yeah.
And, like, when I was releasing it, there was nothing, like, forefront to, like, kind of take the weight forward. So this guy, I mean, again, familiar materials. I think it's hole friendly. I mean, I'm going to give me a 67
Okay,
on this one.
I'm going 66.
Okay.
Again, it's an okay bag. If somebody brought this out to, like, a blind draw and, like, hey, you want to throw this? Okay.
I would throw it, yeah.
I'm not going to be thrilled about it, but, like, it's not going to be my best bag, but I can play with this. I know the materials well enough where I can make it work.
I agree. I mean,
So-
all in all, like, Tampa Bay Cornhole, I don't, like, dislike any of the bags. I mean, X Factor is just, you got to get used to it, is really what it is.
Yeah.
Like, I think if you throw it often, you could actually become killer with that bag.
I believe their prices are pretty good too. So if you're somebody that's looking for, you just want to try something different, you haven't tried anything new, you want to look for a small, I guess in quotes, like a smaller cornhole bag company, check out Tampa Bay Cornhole. I know they're on Facebook. I'm assuming they probably have a website too, but we appreciate you guys sending us the bags, and thanks for letting us review them.
Absolutely.
And we'll go on from there.
Yeah, I mean, I think, so you really like the Sticky Icky more than the Pineapple Express?
I did.
Okay.
I don't listen. I don't
I
know
know
what
it's-
it is.
it's
Like,
suede.
I'm almost thinking of like I've been throwing suede so much recently, just like when we go to the backyard stuff.
Yeah.
That I just feel like, and you know what? Now that I throw a flatter bag, I like suede more.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, it is fun to, like, mess around with.
It is.
I mean, that's actually how I got out of my funk, was throwing suede.
Yeah.
And so
Just messing
like,
around. Yeah.
I mean, I get it.
Yeah. All right. So wait, do you hear that?
Shameless plugs.
Cue the rap horn. All right. You can reach us at Instagram and Twitter at Big Ass Cornhole.
And Facebook at Big Ass Cornhole Podcast. Thanks again to our sponsors. Visit airwolfathletics.com for some of the sickest swag in the game. Use code BIGASS to get yourself 10% off. And iHeartCornhole.com for the best boards in the biz. Use code BIGASS10. Get yourself 10% off.
Bagsboard.com for the sexiest backpacks and patches around. And blackjackcornhole.com for just the best customer service and all-around quality. Visit blackjackcornhole.com. Use code BIGASP to save yourself 10%. October 16th. Do not forget, we are hosting our first tournament ever. It's actually the first annual cornhole tournament at PJ McIntyre's. It's in West Park, Ohio. It's it's on the corner of Lorraine and Rocky River.
It's called Cam's Corner.
Called
Look it up,
Cam's Corner.
folks. Great bar corner.
All we ask is, if you're going to come, no two advanced players. It's $40 a team.
Yeah.
It's $1,500 guaranteed to the winner, and then we're doing 90% payout after that.
Yeah. And guys, like, it's going to be a slower going tournament because we want you to go into the establishment that's hosting it and drink. So come out, have a good time.
Expect it to be a long day. Just expect it to work. Listen, we want this to be more than just, a cornhole. We want to showcase our favorite bar in
Hell
Cleveland.
yeah! I mean,
So
TJ's
we
the
want it
shit.
to be, we're gonna set up as many boards as we can in the beginning. Now, there was a certain point. I think the tournament's starting at 1:30.
Yeah.
At 4:00, we're able to put more boards out. So in the beginning, it's gonna be a little bit slower. But go in, drink a lot, have fun. I'm gonna be drinking a lot.
Let it rip.
Yeah, let it rip. At 4:00, we're gonna plow right through it, and then I'm looking forward to it. I hope a bunch of you guys will come out to the tournament and support us
It's gonna be a good time.
and support the people that have helped support us. Pat Campbell, the owner of PJ McIntyre's, has been a huge supporter of us since day one. He's a family friend. He's a fucking awesome human being. I know he's excited for it. So I know there's supposed to be a bunch of police and firemen that are coming out. So come out, show your support, shake some hands.
And if you think you're just gonna like walk in and you've faced a team that you don't know, I visited a Cleveland Fire Department 2 weeks ago, and I can tell you what, dude, those guys, I've never seen them play.
Oh, yeah.
They are phenomenal. So watch out. That's all they do in their off time.
All right, well, now we are actually going to be joined, okay? We forgot to tease it at the beginning, but here it is anyways. We're going to actually be joined by two ACL pros, new teammates, the foundation of BG Cornhole, Mr. Eric Anderson, friend of the show, and his Studley partner, Ryan Smith.
Hell yeah. I mean, all right, let's log off this. Let me go do some push-ups real quick, and then we can get them on. All right, we got to look a little swole. All right.
Right. Well, as always, we hope you throw it straight, and it's nothing but four baggers from here on out.
Cornhole it.
Later. Welcome back to the Big Ass Cornhole Podcast, where we are now joined by ACL pros, dynamic BG duo, Eric Anderson and Ryan Smith. What's going on, guys?
What's going on, man? How you doing?
Not much.
Living the dream, looking fresh as shit. I'm not sipping on what are you drinking over there? I saw you just take a sip, so let the folks know. What are you drinking?
Honey Jack Daniels.
There we go. All right, there we go.
Yeah, I got to give a shout out to this one, though.
All right, go ahead.
So we switched over. We crushed all of our pumpkin nitros here. So moved over to a Stereotropic Hazy IPA. It's from Cleveland Beer Week, and it's a little collaboration, Masthead and Highwire Brewing. Fucking A, man.
Good,
fantastic. It's only 6%. The only downfall, but yeah, it could have been stronger, but that's all right.
So Ryan, let's start with you, man. So you've been in the game for at least in the pro scene for a while. I just tell the folks a little bit. How did you first get involved in the game? I know you were like an athlete in college and stuff like that. How did you find yourself going from there to the cornhole scene?
So growing up, horseshoes is big in my area. So I played a lot of horseshoes, and then college was football. And then after college, probably back in like 2014, 15, I just went to a blind draw tournament with my brother, and guys were, playing cornhole or whatever. And I was like, oh man, this is pretty cool. I was getting my butt kicked. So after that tournament, I bought some bags and boards and started playing, and from there it just kind of took off. There was like tournaments every week or month and stuff like that, and just took off from there.
Did you find yourself like you were just because of playing horseshoes? Did you find like you got better at it pretty quickly?
Yeah, because in horseshoes, I threw like a spin shoe, so the rotation it's similar to how you throw a bag. So it was that aspect was easy for me to catch on.
Okay.
See, in my area, everyone looked at me weird when I threw a horseshoe like that.
Yeah.
And I did it from a very young age. I'm like, this is what feels natural. Like, I don't like the end over end shit. Like, this is what feels natural.
Yeah,
I wasn't very good.
Yeah.
Now, where did you go to college at?
James Madison University in Harrisonburg, Virginia.
Okay, where what position did you play? Defensive back or?
I played defensive back, and then I did punt return and kick return.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
You're the prototypical build for. Was there ever a thought, like, was the dream when you went to play college football ever going the next stage with that, or?
Of course, I mean it's just difficult for a 5'9" defensive back. You got to be like balling, so yeah, it's just tough. So after my senior year, I just kind of started applying for jobs and went that route.
Okay, and then what do you do for a living now?
So I'm a project manager for a logistics firm. So we basically send medicines and contraceptives and stuff into countries in Africa.
There you go. Good stuff.
Yeah,
Good
so
stuff.
pretty cool.
It's very cool. Eric, you're looking lonely down there, man. What's going on? How are you?
I'm good.
So you are.
Relaxing.
First of all, let me apologize because you and Dane are partnering up on Thursday Night League. So first of all, I know you guys just had your first week.
Hurts, man.
How has that been going so far?
That's probably the worst thing you ever done to me. By far.
Sorry.
Hey, now.
How have the numbers been at
Telling
Cleveland
you,
League?
when the competition's there, I played my best.
What'd you say, Sean?
How have the numbers been so far?
I mean, we did, 5-2 last week?
No, I mean like overall, like
thing
how many
is,
people
half
have
the
been there?
games
Like
is-
good numbers,
I
like
just
overall,
kinda-
like number of people.
Nah, man. I bet you there's probably 60, 70.
Okay, it's pretty solid for.
I mean, for Thursday league, that's pretty big.
Yeah.
I heard Monday's a little bit bigger.
Okay.
I think it's around the same, but Thursdays I bet you it's probably 80% new people.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And they changed up the format, I know, a little bit, right? They're all going straight round robin on like they used to have like that tiered system. How are you liking it so far, round robin wise?
I mean, it's really hard to stay into it when people aren't even hitting the boards. The first week of Mondays when they were doing that, I played 2 games left-handed just to keep it fun, and it just wasn't fun. I mean, for the lower end players to learn and take what we do daily, it's good for them, but for us, it kind of hurts my game because I can't take it seriously.
When you're in a situation like that, like let's say someone brand new is lined up next to like right next to you in a league situation, do you find yourself like do you try to help them out in the game, or is it something like you want to win first and then maybe you'll help them out afterwards?
No, I'll help them in the middle of the game because honestly, if they're just starting out, if I lose to them, I have a real issue.
No,
I try to help them middle.
I'm hearing a lot of bullshit out of your mouth. I mean, I think Mondays, might be a little easier for you to play left-handed, but just remember on Thursday night, you don't miss a bag, okay? You need to carry this guy. All right, that's my one chance I get to throw now, and you're just going to have to live with it. I might make you start doing bag reviews with me. We're going to just throw a different bag every fucking game.
I don't think I could do that, but
it's all right. We don't have to tell BG. Rich and Graham, all right, he's not going to do that. It's all right. It's our little secret.
So you guys decided to partner up, kind of tour Erie, I think was the first time you guys partnered up last year for the pro shootout, right? And then you guys also played in the open event together.
Yeah,
Correct.
So how did that partnership first come about?
I think Rich kind of linked it up. I kind of brought it up to him. I needed a shootout partner.
Okay.
And I'm pretty sure Rich kind of connected it.
Okay. And then obviously you guys did pretty well for the first time ever being being partners in like a pro event like that. I think you guys took like third or fourth, right? I mean, you guys had pretty good success. Did you guys feel some sort of like instant chemistry playing together, Ryan?
Yeah, I mean, at Erie, we were a little rocky in the shootout, but the open part of it, we were rolling. I mean, I think a big part of it is we both were throwing. I mean, we were throwing Vikings. I think we both threw Vikings majority of the last season, if not all. So that helped a lot. And then, so after that shootout, the open was, I think, the last part of it, and we rolled through that. We were on a tear for a while on that, and just after that, I just felt like, we had like the same passion for competitiveness, and everything was just clicking. So I just knew like, we could do this.
What is it about? Like, what do you guys enjoy about playing with each other? I mean, obviously, like you said, you're both like two of the well-known players in the league. You're both very talented. I know Eric, you've always thought of yourselves as like a top 10 singles player. Ryan, I know you've had success on the double scene before, but I mean, a year or two ago, you were considered like one of the best, like if not the best player in the world, singles wise. Like, what is it about that you guys just feel like going into this season, the partnership just feels like it's going to work?
Go ahead, you can take that one.
Honestly, I think, going to it, we both had the same idea that we're both two of the top 10 players in the country. We both feel like we can walk in and win in the tournament. And I think, we have the same competitive spirit where, I've calmed down a lot over the years as I got older. So, I think me learning how to channel that, and then honestly, like all the mental stuff that I do outside of just playing, Ryan does a lot of that too. So I think we share some of the same characteristics, but we both know we could trust one another too. So I don't think either one of us really truly had that all the time. He played with James Washington at one point, So I think he had maybe a little better supporting cast than me at times. Chad did great at times. Unfortunately, me and Timmy just didn't work out. But I think we share a lot of same characteristics, part of competitive spirit.
When you guys are like at the pro level, right, and you're being in your doubles, Ryan, I think one of the more underrated aspects of your game is you're a real analytic type player. You're a smart player. You know what I mean? Like you take your time and you really try to kind of focus everything. You really kind of. Would you agree with that? I mean, do you really think about? I mean, like you seem like you're a very strategic type player. Like you really take your time to kind of think about stuff like that.
Sorry, can you repeat that? You're choppy for a bit.
No, it's fine. One of the things I think is underrated about your game is that you're really analytic. Like while you're playing, you're kind of more of a cerebral type player. Is that something that you've worked on? Is that something that you kind of take pride in? That you feel like it's a strong part of your game is being kind of like a smart player in general?
Yeah, definitely. I think Eric and then Rich and Graham can attest to it. I think I threw every bag BG had out last year at some point. I'm big on, especially in singles. I rather change bags than change my throw. How the boards play, I'll change and throw any bag, whether it's going from a Viking to a dark slide. I'd rather do that and change it that way. So that's been a big part. That was a big part of last year, and it's gonna be even a bigger part of this year going forward. Just like figuring that stuff out beforehand, and then during the game, just figuring out my opponent, who I'm playing, whether they like to stroke the hole or they're trying to block me, just figuring that stuff out and then trying to play my game accordingly. Yeah, I think about all that. All that goes into
You
it.
like to adjust a little bit then, because I mean, some people like they go in.
Correct.
The mindset is I'm just going to put every bag in the hole, but you do try to adjust your strategy to try to make it a little bit more difficult on your opponent. Then,
Correct. Yeah, correct. I do try to do that, but there's times where if I'm feeling it, I'm just like, all right, I'm going hole for hole. You're just gonna have to beat me. But I mean, after a while that gets boring if they're doing the same thing, so you got to try to do something to throw them off.
when you guys are playing as a doubles team, like do you guys, is it a feeling out kind of thing? Like when you're warming up on like arm inside versus arm outside, do you guys tend to talk before a match, be like, hey, no, I think I strategic, strategy wise, style wise, play better against this player versus another. Does that ever come into consideration? Or do you guys like, no, I'm always gonna stay arm outside, you're gonna stay arm inside, we're just gonna roll with it?
Yeah, I think we stick with the sides. We don't really match up to opponent. I'm usually outside, arm outside, and Eric's inside, and we just roll that way.
Eric, is that your stronger side with your arm inside? Is it easier to throw a roll shot for you then?
Truthfully, I've always been an outside thrower because everyone I played with has always put me on the outside.
Okay.
Something I just had to adjust to, and I think Erie was kind of adjustment period. In the shootout, I struggled a little bit, and then once I got a feel for where I needed to hit, put my bag, I think it was easier. But it is easier to do a roll shot because I have more board to play with.
Have you guys had any? I mean, I know you last year, especially I remember at the Erie Open, we actually called one of your guys' games, and at least in that the one event that we were watching, you guys were throwing Vikings, but Ryan, I think you were throwing slick side down primarily. In general, it seems like you guys play kind of different style games. I know Ryan, you would tend to go for an airmail rather than try to roll a bag. I don't know, maybe that shot's in your arsenal now and you just don't use it as well. I know Eric, you have one of the better roll bags in the game. Does that ever, do you guys admire the different way, like you each are look a little bit different? Like Eric, do you admire, Ryan's ability to be a little bit more cerebral and the style and the thought process he takes in? Ryan, do you sometimes, I mean, listen, we've been lucky enough to see Eric throw some incredible shots, just being close to him and stuff. I mean, do you ever just look back and be like, damn, I wish I could throw back like that?
Definitely. Eric's definitely got some the roll shot and stuff. He's got it down. I mess with it sometimes. I can do it here and there, but for me, mostly it's gonna be I'm stroking the hole in airmail, and I'm not messing around with the roll shot too much. I'll go back and forth from side, slick side down or carpet, just depending on how I'm feeling that day. Some days my arm might be sore. Like I think in Erie, actually, I wore a hoodie the whole doubles, open doubles, and my arm was sore from the day before, and I just threw slick side down the whole time.
Okay.
So I kind of just gauge that way. When I practice both sides of the bag, so just in case I need to flip it over. So yeah, I just go accordingly once it's game time.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how I throw slick side consistently. I've been working on it, but it's definitely not easy. I would rather, if it's sticky, throw harder.
Yeah.
But one thing I've been doing when I practice, only thing I throw for at least an hour to 2 hours I practice, but it's like fours trying to learn, a little more finesse, which I've got a little better at it. It's still not my strong suit.
Okay.
Yeah, I saw you throw the dark slides, when we were warming up, and man, yeah, I mean it would like you'd four bag it, and then
I gotta see that.
You have just
you
bags just jump in the hole
slides.
on you. Like I get it. You have like Eric. I don't know if anyone out there listening, like if you don't know like Eric Anderson's angle to land on a board, but it's like so perfect that like it hits so hard that you always get a jump no matter what fucking bag you throw. Like, I mean, there's always a little skip to every bag you throw. So it's like, that dark slide, that thing can cook.
So Ryan,
Yeah,
let me ask you. So I think going into the 2019 season, you were, I think Trey Ryder was, I mean, for lack of better terms, like all over your nuts, right? Like he was, like you were the number one player going in. You were going to be the poster child of ACL. Does that ever affect you, like all the outside noise, like the expectations and stuff? Because then going into last season, I didn't even know if you were playing or not. I mean, I hadn't heard. I had been waiting all season to find out who your doubles partner was. I kept hitting you up on Twitter, and you were playing coy with me. So, like, did that mess with you at all? Like, did you have a minute where you decided maybe like you weren't going to continue this route? And if that was the case, like, what brought you back in?
So back in 2019, that's when so before COVID, I was traveling everywhere. Like leading up to the season, I was in South Dakota, Delaware. I was just going everywhere, and I was on a roll. I was winning everything. So that's why Trey was so high on me going into the season. I mean, I didn't do horrible, but I didn't finish where I wanted to finish. I just kept coming up short and things like that. So after the season ended, I just had some personal things going on. I just needed some time. So that's why I didn't declare a partner, and I was just under the radar, chilling. I was still practicing and stuff, but I wasn't really sure what events I was going to go to and things, so I didn't want to declare a partner. So Florida rolled around, and I went down there, and I only played singles. That was the only event I played in. I didn't do doubles. I went down there, played singles, and that was it. Came back.
Okay. All right. Now, you guys are you guys probably, and along with, like, I would say Eddie and Caleb are probably kind of like the big, and listen, I'm sure other teams that are not gonna be thrilled with me saying this, but you guys are probably like the foundation of the BG team right now, if we want to call it that. What is it about BG? Now, Eric, I know you, like, let's put it out as you're a little bit biased, right? I mean, you've been BG since day one. You've carried BG. You were the only BG pro for a little bit of time. So I understand, obviously, your heart is with BG for sure. Ryan, you're a little bit of a free agent. I know there was other companies coming after you. There was rumors going around of other people making you offers. Ultimately, what was it about BG and either their bags or their brand that kind of drew you to ultimately decide to go with them?
Rich and Graham, I mean, they're awesome. Like I told them straight up before me and Eric declared, I had other options, things. I told them what was going on and stuff like that. And I told them I had no complaints. It had nothing to do with them. They're awesome. I could, I hit Rich up and say, or Graham up and just be like, hey, this bag feels a bit weird. And a couple of days later, I'll have another set of bags. It's just like, or I could just text them about anything and we'll just have a random convo. It was just that relationship that, more than just like a number or the bags and things like that. It's just like to have that relationship with, the owners of the company and things means a lot to me. So that was a huge part of making the decision to, stick with BG.
Okay. Eric, I mean, obviously talk to us. I mean, BG, how good have they been to you guys? I mean, been to you for over the year. I mean, you've been through the highs and the lows with BG. I think the loyalty that you've shown to them and that showed to you, I mean, I think that's that's kind of a cool story in and of itself.
Yeah, I mean, obviously I've been with BG since 2017. I had a brief, like, couple months stint where I kind of parted ways due to like a sponsorship director issue when the old owner, let someone else control sponsorships. I kind of parted ways for a second because the way it was handled. And then, when Rich and Graham took over, Rich and Graham became more of mentors to me than anything, not just a bag sponsor. I could call Rich any day and have a conversation about normal life stuff. So now, it's more of like a family for me. Obviously, Rich and Graham, I work at the Ohio plant now. They took great care of me. I couldn't be more thankful for the position they put me in over the years. So, I had other options. At the end of the year, I always seem to have a few, but honestly, it's hard to even think about it with everything they've done for me. And, every year gets better and better.
So talk to us a little bit about, all right, so like BG did a masterful job last year marketing, right? They had everyone, I mean, the fucking Wizard bags were going for like $400 or $500 a set. They kept, building the hype, and then they released the Wizards, right? So, the Wizards, they're finally in people's hands, great. And now they come out with the Warlock, and what's going on with these new sets? I mean, Eric, I know you've thrown them a few times. I've gotten to hold them a few times. What can you just tell people a little bit about what to expect and what you like about the new products, and just kind of keep people hungry for BG stuff?
The Halo, this bag, honestly, like, it's either you're gonna love it or hate it. It's a little quick. Yeah. It takes a long time to break down, and it's supposed to be like a surefire per se, but it's nowhere near it, honestly. It's going to be a really good bag for someone that can't throw a perfectly flat bag because it's pretty quick. Is that the bag
that you had at the blind draw at the VW?
That was a Supernova.
That was a Supernova?
Yeah, it's Supernova, which honestly probably it plays, I don't know exactly how to explain it. Fast side's fast, slow side's slow. I mean, it's a really good bag if you want something fast. It's pretty forgiving too. Ryan's thrown it probably more than I have at this point because he throws every single bag possible. Even
Ryan, are you
somehow he probably throws it, but he could probably touch on it.
Ryan, are you leaning towards one specific series of bags for singles? I mean, I know you like to kind of see what the bore conditions are like, but do you have like a personal favorite right now going into the season?
Honestly, I've been putting a lot of thought in going dark slides and going back throwing a fast bag.
Okay.
I just been looking at some like old videos and stuff of last season. I felt like I did the best when I was just stroking the hole and making people try to block me, and I just airmail and hit the hole. So depending on how the boards play, that's always going to be a huge factor. But I might throw more dark slides than usual this season and just hole and airmail and just keep it that simple.
So I got a question for both you guys. So fashion choice as doubles partners. I know, Eric, you like to rock the old short sleeve hoodie. Obviously, we got Ryan Smith sporting the guns, going sleeveless. So Ryan, are you gonna rock like a sleeveless hoodie as like a compromise, or like Eric, you can just like go full blown sleeveless for us?
No chance.
I'm definitely getting the sleeveless jersey. I'll probably get a hoodie as well because, like I said, sometimes my arm hurts and I just wear a hoodie. So I might get a hoodie jersey. Just
have a custom sleeveless hoodie.
Sleeveless.
Exactly. So you could always, at least keep your head warm. When the guns are working, you just got to keep that head.
Ryan, like when you go to tournaments and stuff, do you have like a routine that you typically like to follow? Like are you not like a go out and party like the night before a tournament kind of guy, right? Like you tend to take care of yourself a little bit. Do you have like a pregame meal, maybe a snack or something like that before? Eric, I'm not asking you that question. So
for the most part, I don't really do much the night before. Austin was an exception. I had to explore Austin, so that was a pretty crazy night out in Austin. But usually I sort of like back from my football days, I just like to try to play the tournament out in my head. Like whether there's singles, doubles, I play it out, envision playing against certain people, hitting an airmail or doing such and such. I just try to visualize all that before it happens, and not really a pregame or a meal or anything like that. But yeah, you're usually just going through the tournament in my head before it happens.
And you're kind of, if I remember in Erie, I know I don't mean this like in a negative way at all. You're a little bit of like a loner in between matches. Like you like to go off, be by yourself. Is that kind of standard for you?
Yeah, for the most part, 'cause I like to just focus or think about like if I just finished a game and I just want to like sometimes I actually started meditating a little bit out, off and just try to like take deep breaths because right before the tournament starts, especially the shootout, it's like you get like itchy or antsy or whatever. So I just try to take deep breaths and relax and just like, all right, you got this. You know how to airmail, you know how to put them in the hole. Let's do it. So yeah, I just want to get by myself and just like I guess talk myself down and calm myself down and go into it calm like I'm throwing by myself practicing and not get all nervous and choke and freeze and things like that.
Okay. All right. So a listener question, Daniel Gordon, Eric, let's start with you. He wants to know what you do to prepare yourself for a big match or tournament.
Tournament wise, I wake up, I try to get down there an hour and a half, before anyone gets there. Get a little alone time in on the boards, just, getting a feel for the board speeds because I know it's going to change throughout the day. Just kind of get my arm swing right and get my shoulder ready, but maybe a few beers. That's about it.
Okay. Ryan, what about you?
I usually got to get down there early. It takes me a while to get warmed up. So I like to throw for a while. One thing I need to change a bit is once I get warmed up, I have a habit of just keep throwing. Like I just feel like I don't want to sit down, so I'll just keep throwing until the thing starts. And I think I might burn myself out that way. So yeah, it takes me a good solid hour or so to get dialed in, and I feel comfortable hitting all my shots and putting them in the hole and things like that. And that's usually how I go about it.
So this next question, it kind of goes one thing a little bit. I think kind of go hand in hand. First of all, kind of, but so
got him.
So Ryan, you're one of I would say you're probably one of two like notable players that wears a glove while they play, right? So you and Justin Strange are probably the most popular pros that wear a glove. First of all, like, why did you first start wearing a glove in the first place?
I just get really indoors. I just get really hot and my hands sweat like crazy. So before the glove was even a thing, I used to have like a towel, like a hand towel, and I used to just wipe my hands profusely, like in between rounds. And at the end of the match, I go to the bathroom and just wash my hands with cold water. I even tried like the things like some kind of cream you put on your hands to dry your hands out. That didn't really work either. Then Eric Ryder sent me a prototype of the glove. The glove that he had a while back. And I was like, all right, it took me like a little bit to get adjusted to it, just the feeling and how you got to grip the back of the bag. But after this, it was like, this is perfect because even if my hands are sweating, it still doesn't stick to the bag. So
okay,
after a while, it just became a thing. So now it's like weird to throw without it.
Okay. The one question, Rob Mills, I'm assuming he also uses a glove. He wants to know, is there like a best break-in procedure or method for the gloves? Like, do you soak in a conditioner and work it in, or do you just like kind of just start wearing it and throw it?
No, I just put it on and throw it. Yeah.
Just wear and throw it.
Yeah, I don't do anything with it.
And when you were playing football in college, were you wearing gloves as a DB?
Yeah, I wore gloves unless it was rainy. Then I just tape my fingers and just go about it that way. But for the most part, gloves.
I don't know if that's like why you ended up on defense was because of the sweaty hands or something. Because they always say that DBs are receivers that can't catch.
No. Actually, no. Funny story is, my first semester of my freshman year of college, I was at Marshall University, and I played wide receiver there. So, So then when I transferred to James Madison, I just went to defense because I felt I had a better chance at playing more. So
hey, that's where you know, right? See,
smart man.
Should have done my research. I didn't even know that you went to Marshall.
All right, Eric. Jay Corley wants to know, what changes are you going to make to catch a win in the fantasy football league?
None. I bet it on running backs and quarterbacks. Running backs are trash. And then, the rest is
Because you
terrible.
drafted the wrong ones. That's the problem.
You don't have a win yet? You don't have a win?
Okay, so let's pause here for a quick fantasy football update for the four baggers.
Oh, Lord.
In first place, and we have to knock him off soon. Okay, someone needs to beat him because I'm so sick of hearing it.
Well, because you beat me, you asshole.
Jay Corley is sitting at 4-0, and then Jordan Power is in second place at 3-1. His one loss to me, motherfuckers. Okay, like my team got off to a shit start the first 2 weeks. It's starting to come around. I had a pep talk with them. We're good for now.
All right, so for the record, last week Sean and I faced off. Little caveat. I was down by 32 points going into Monday night. I had Austin Eckler left, and I thought, he hasn't had. He's been doing okay. Motherfucker got me 31 points. I lost by a fucking point.
Yeah, it was great. I was watching it, and
all he had to do was touch the ball one time inside the red zone, and I had it, and he didn't do it.
I will admit defeat. Ryan, you beat me week 2 handedly. My team was still we're still becoming a unit, though. You know what I mean? So they were still on their ground, but overall, Ryan, you're currently sitting at 6th place. I'm sitting in 5th place. Dane's sitting in 3rd place. So it's pretty wide open. Eric?
The ship's mine. I'm 2-2, but I'm there. Look at this. The points for.
Oh,
I'm doing quite
while we're
well.
at it,
I will say
Dane
is leading points for.
Points for
at 6.
That's where it's
694, and the next closest is Jay Corley at 639.
What's up?
And then it's me at 632. So
I'm ahead by 60 points through the first 4 weeks. That's significant. My team's.
I got a question.
But I beat him. That's all that matters.
Because
what's up with the three moves, the 3 changes rule?
Well, the 3 changes per week.
Yeah, I'm a waiver wire junkie. I tried to do stuff. I'm like, what?
We're trying to prevent you from hurting yourself at the end of the year.
You gotta be smart.
Limited amount of moves throughout the season.
Listen, no, you would actually in my big money league that I run with the group of friends that we've had forever. I every other year except for this year, we limited it to 16 moves all year. So you had to draft smart. This year we did an auction style draft. So I decided to open it up, but any move after 16, it's $5. You have to throw it into the pot. So it was it just adds a little dimension. Or else, listen, my dad is one of those motherfuckers that's up at 3 a.m. as soon as the waiver wire is open, and he's sniping everybody. I have fucking kids. I need to sleep. And I have a job. I can't do all that shit. We're just trying to level the playing field. All that is. But it's been fun so far. Jay Corley's getting frustrated because no one's talking shit. I'm like, dude, it's still early.
Yeah.
And you're talking shit because you haven't lost yet.
Yeah.
I haven't played him yet though. So
Jay Corley, when you listen to this episode, just know I'm coming for you, bro. Your points for is trash.
He beat me
fucking destroy you.
He beat me week 1. All right, so I'll give him that. That's fine. But that just means I'm gonna get to play him again when it matters for playoff rankings. And I'm just gonna have to knock him down a peg or two.
Yeah, Corley, if you want to see a great team, look at mine. Look at that roster. Sorry, record doesn't count this early. But actually, I'm an avid listener of our show, so I have a question for you guys. Since we're doing listener questions, I figured I could do it. But so Eric, you fancy yourself a baller? Who wins in 1-on-1 between you two?
What, hooping?
Yeah.
Me. He may be quicker, but
I'll give you that.
his body is a little ass.
I will tell you guys. I think 2-on-2, Sean and I beat you.
No chance.
Not now.
Hey, I know we're fat.
5 years ago, maybe.
I will stroke all day.
Not now.
5
years ago.
No, Eric can't guard me. No chance. I'm too wide. He can't handle that.
How drunk are you over there?
Hey, we don't need cardio when I gotta back you down just one step at a time, brother. Can't stop it.
So Ryan, you're obviously you're a football fan, right? Do you have a favorite team?
The Washington football team, unfortunately.
So first of all, what's going on with them, man? That's just a crazy situation, man. Fitzpatrick going down, that killed you guys.
Yeah, Heineke isn't bad. The defense is just stinking it up so far. They're supposed to be good.
Listen, we can't say anything after last week. Baker's did just awful performance. Listen, we've all seen this before. Everyone in Cleveland's hoping he has a bounce back game because we can't go through this again, man.
Yeah.
Like he just
that's-
needs to find his shit. He needs to figure it out, or we need to get Odell back. I don't care what it
or
is.
we just keep,
Get rid
giving
of
up like, under 15 points a game, and then we have a chance.
Let me ask you your football opinion right now, right? So you're a defensive back in college, right? Right now, best defensive back in the game right now.
It's got to be Jalen Ramsey. I mean, he talks trash, but he backs it up for the most part.
All right, so
I mean,
let me ask you this. I'm happy you said that because I think it was Barstool Sports posted this today. You have a one-on-one matchup. Who's winning, Jerry Rice or Jalen Ramsey?
Ramsey.
What?
Jerry Rice wasn't
Jerry
that
Rice?
fast. He wasn't a good route. I mean, he was a great route runner. He wasn't that fast. Ramsey's very physical, and he's a big corner. He probably would just jam him. He would jam. I mean,
here's a fun stat. So
and cornerbacks have it harder anyway. So you can't play in the NFL right now. Jalen Ramsey, imagine how good he would have been probably like 5 or 10 years ago when you could actually like put your hands on people. I mean, it would have probably been game over.
yeah, it's a bit weird now in the league with all the rules and all that stuff.
It's very soft. I mean, it's powder puff.
Listen, we played rugby. I mean, this is fucking. I see some of the shit.
Yeah,
That people
I
are getting
watched them
flags for.
throw flags for a guy like showing up to the ball like a millisecond early. I'm like, get the fuck out of here! Like that's hard.
It's trickling down into college football now as well. So
yeah, it is. It's all getting a little soft, a little cupcakey.
So my favorite question, all right, it's gonna be the last listener question. Nick Courier asked, I think both of you guys are headphone wear, like you guys both wear headphones while playing, correct?
I do in singles unless I get on a broadcast, and then doubles sometimes, just depending on how I'm feeling.
Okay, so it's been said that sometimes players will listen to the same song over and over on repeat. So if that was the case for you, if you had to pick one song that you're listening to on repeat while you're playing, what's that song?
You got it, Eric. What you picking?
Oh man,
say "Lose Yourself" by Eminem.
No.
Mom Spaghetti, come on.
I mean, it really depends on the day and what kind of mood I'm in. I guess my go-to when I'm playing is probably Lil Baby. Anything Lil Baby, honestly.
Okay.
For me, it's weird because I have so many playlists. I listen to literally everything. I have country, reggae, rap. I have all sorts of stuff, and really, whatever I'm listening to, if I'm stroking, I'll repeat that song. But going into a tournament, I need to be pumped. So I'll probably, a song to get me going, probably Tech Nine, Speed 'em.
Ooh,
That song just gets me going, and I mean, it's.
Love Tech Nine.
Dude, first of all, okay, let's talk Tech Nine for a second. Do you think he's underappreciated overall in the music game?
I think he is.
I think so.
Eric probably knows more about Tech Nine than me, but
I mean, he's pretty big in the underground
Eric, don't you
world,
think
though.
so?
Yeah, I mean, he's consistently on the Forbes list.
Yeah.
I mean, he's lyrical genius. I mean, he's just not. No one even knows who Tech Nine is.
Yeah, dude, he just has his own style, though. You know what I mean? Like he doesn't fit. You know what I mean? Which I kind of
absolutely. He's not. It's definitely not like the mainstream sound, and I think that's an issue. And shit, Timmy Jonas didn't even know who Tech Nine was.
God damn it, man, that's so sad.
Yeah, you have so much to learn.
So sad. So sad.
I'm coming in tomorrow to league with a boombox just blaring. I'll just
Pull
let it
Chucky
rip.
Love off.
Just walk through.
You got to wear a fedora and be like Chucky.
So Ryan, do you have anyone you want to shout out? Any sponsors? Anything like that?
Yeah, well, definitely BG, Rich and Graham. You guys are awesome.
You guys are sponsored by BG.
I got to shout out also Brandon with Gladiator, the glove. That's my go-to.
He's a good dude, man. He's a good dude.
Yeah, awesome dude, man. And my local crew, Beltway Baggers, Wendy and Woody are awesome. Appreciate you guys for all the support.
Wendy's a big supporter of us on Twitter, so I appreciate Wendy.
Yeah,
I appreciate it.
Awesome.
Eric, what about you?
Obviously BG, Rich, and Graham. But Brandon Thompson of Airwolf, someone that doesn't always get the, love and, shout outs he deserves. He's a great dude.
Every episode, Eric.
Eric,
That's just-
think
that
about a
hurts,
year
man.
ago, like when you were first signing with him, right? Isn't it crazy how much he's grown though? I mean, he's doing big things.
Yeah, I signed with him going back to April of 2020.
Yeah.
During the lockdown, damn near. And since then it's grown a lot. And I think it's became kind of overwhelming at times for him. So he's definitely grown a lot, and that's why I keep sticking with him. Kind of like the same thing I did with BG. Watching it grow and trying to be involved with it as much as I can. I talked to Brandon a lot.
By far.
Yeah, I mean, he flew out to Vegas from Hawaii to come just literally hang out and watch us play. And then he came out to Rock Hill and did the same thing. It's a long way to come just to watch people play.
He actually
But
told
that's
us
the
he came
support
out
he
to
has.
see us at Rock Hill. He didn't care about the players. He was like, I need to see this. Yeah. He wouldn't fly into Cleveland because, I mean, it's Hawaii to Cleveland. I don't even think that flight exists.
I think he just said that to make you feel good.
It worked. All right.
And you have Eric, you have some new sponsors, right?
Yeah, TWT. I have the banner in the background. Danny, I met him in Erie. And ever since then, we've stayed in consistent contact. He actually just texted me why I was doing this. He's a great dude. And then Local Canopies came on this year. They said that, if they got into the sponsor game within the ACL, I would be one of the first. And I was one of the first male sponsored players by them.
That's awesome.
The female being Whitney Martinez. So, right now, they've all been really good to me. And I can't super thankful for all that.
That's awesome. Well, hey, we came out with our rankings last week for doubles. I think I have you guys at 5th. I am expecting big things from you guys. I don't think you put me out there. I thought it was pretty good, man. I think you guys were the highest ranked new partnership team that I had out there. Listen, you guys are both crazy talented. I think it's only a matter of time before you guys are gonna make it splash. I think it'd probably be safe to say, if I held you guys a true serum or something, that you weren't happy with your doubles performances as a whole like last year. I think it's only a matter of time for you guys to kind of make a big splash and win a national. I'd be waiting for it. I think it's only a matter of time. So you guys will make some noises here. So I'm excited to see it. I would say I was pumped when I found out officially that you guys were being partners. I think it's smart. I think you guys already showed that you have potential, and these were only open events and some shootouts, and I'm excited for you guys, and I hope you guys are excited too.
Definitely,
Sure.
I'm pumped. I'm pumped and ready to go, man. We've been talking about it a few times here and there now. Just thinking ahead, just planning for events we're gonna go to, bag possibility choices we're gonna throw here and there, and yeah, just all of that is exciting me. I'm ready to go.
After this long off season, the season's already kicking off now already, man. We're getting right back into it.
Yeah, it's definitely exciting.
All right, so we're gonna let the people go. We'll have you guys hang on, but thanks for joining us, and as always, we hope you throw it straight. And it's nothing but 4 baggers from here on out.
Cornhole it.
Later.